And I want to talk about your puppy today too, because I used to compete in dog obedience. And I
Oh God.
and I think if we put in some practices with your puppy, also it'll help you and the kiddos. Really?
I am so open to this because I keep telling Atticus, I need you to bond to this dog. He's going to be 100 pounds before you know it.
Yeah.
And like, I need you to be comfortable with him. Every time my poor puppy walks by Atticus, he squeals.
Because Attic be why is the puppy squeals or Atticus squeals?
Atticus,
And he's your 4-year-old.
5, but yeah,
And is he nervous around him?
yes. Scared
Okay.
him, nervous around him. The basis of it is Atticus is a cat person, always has been. When he was like starting to walk, I realized he's like a cat whisperer. Next thing I know, I'd have like 10 cats in the yard, and Atticus is like talking to them all.
Okay.
So weird. He could spot him a mile away, and he's like running down the street to go get the kitty.
Okay.
Dogs, he's kind of always been a little standoffish. He was very close to our pit bull that died this fall.
Yeah.
That was really hard. It's still hard for him. I get it. She was amazing, amazing. She walked off leash. You never had to worry about her. She just was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, I will give you some tools to use with the dog for the children and also for you.
yeah,
But
I'm
before
gonna hire. I'm putting him in puppy classes because he just turned 3 months. So we're going to be doing like puppy classes, and I'm going to make the kids come.
yeah, and even with puppy classes, it's about training the human, even more so than the dog.
It's yeah, like I'm failing at the whole potty training thing, and it's
Oh,
my I am 100% well aware that it is me. He is a very intelligent. I mean, it's my fault. I get it.
is the dog at this time a good idea?
Yeah, probably not, but we are far beyond that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. You're committed. And now it's just moving forward. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, I am. Yes, I learned quickly when Kaye passed that I am a dog person, and I was spiraling emotionally. This is gonna sound, it sounds really crazy, like when I speak it in hindsight, but like I couldn't focus on anything. For 13 years, my whole day revolved around walking her, everything. And so it's like when she was gone, it was really bizarre. Like I didn't know what to do with my life because I work from home. I don't. I mean, he's my companion. She was my companion. She was my co-parent, my co-worker, my best friend. Like she was all those things. And so there was a big void. Rudy's not replacing her by any means, but I needed that grounding. I needed a dog in my life. So
okay. All right.
not an option.
I hear, no, and a dog isn't a pair of socks one way or the other, even if it wasn't. Yeah, no, I love it. Okay, let's go over these. Let's get some nitty gritty, and then we'll save some time for the dog situation. Okay.
Cool.
Uh-huh. Anything you want to share over the past week? How's the modules going? Have you been able to look at those?
Modules. What did I mess up? What modules?
So you should
Oh,
have received an email to get into the course content.
to be honest with you, yes and no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
Uh, but here, hold on. So how long are they're like an hour, right?
No, I wouldn't say they're an hour. If you want to try to do one less, oh gosh, I can't even remember how many are in there. I think it turns out you can do one a week. It kind of paces along.
Oh, it does. Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Try and, save some time to do that. And again, you're gonna hear repeat of stuff here, but when you've heard it already once and then we talk about it, it solidifies it a little bit more. So it's
Yeah, that's cool.
so there's that. Um, of all the tools, we didn't talk about too many tools last week. Of anything that we talked about last week, did you find yourself reflecting on it? On
Well,
what?
I think like the thing that sticks with me the most, and it feels like such common sense, but maybe it's not really common sense until you take yourself out of it and like really think about it. It's like you have to model what you want your kids to be, right? So I've been like really expressing to them like, hey, dude, that was so kind. Thank you. Uh so I think that's really helpful because it's like I tell him every day when I drop him off for school, don't forget to be kind and gentle and brave, you know. But at the same time, maybe he doesn't know what it means to be gentle. So, and her either, you know. So I've been trying to tell them like when they do good,
Mm-hmm.
mm, yeah. And then I don't even remember. It's crazy. I don't remember. I think it was Friday night. I don't remember what created all of it, but everything just escalated really quick and hands down, not my proudest parenting moment. But like after all of it, like I just took it. I was like, what am I doing? So I went and I picked him up, which is a lot because he's almost 60 pounds. And I like sat him down and on the stool in the bathroom and I just like got on his level and I shut the door so Atlas couldn't come in. And I just grabbed his hands and I made him like breathe with me. Atticus likes meditation. He really does. And so like he knows how to breathe for meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I made him breathe and like we just breathed together and like I could just watch him like calm down. So I mean, and I told him like I'm sorry. That sucks. Like I shouldn't have reacted to you that way. Like I have to do better, but you have to do better. I think this, you know, is no fun for anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, it's helpful.
Okay.
The
Okay.
beginning of a road. Right.
Oh, yes. And it's any kind of growth, as you know, as being a life coach, um it's up, down, up, down. You
Yeah.
know, that's how growth is. So
Yeah. I mean, I like almost look at that moment as like when you're going through like big transformation. I saw a meme the other day and it's like what people think big like breakthroughs are, and it's like this picture of like someone meditating in this like beautiful cliffside, and it's like what an actual breakthrough is. And it was like a girl on a couch crying with a box of chocolates and tissues and like just a hot mess. That's the reality of what a breakthrough really is, right? Like it's just an emotional roller coaster and like coming to terms with.
yeah. Um, okay. So hopping back over to modeling what you want to see more
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
something else that I encourage you to think about is modeling taking accountability for your mistakes in lightness. So we actually, who wants to share a mistake they made today? And we bring in mistakes because that's how we grow. And we talk about them in this really light, beautiful way. I forgot to turn in my homework. For me, I gave someone the wrong link and I missed my call. And it really was unfortunate. Luckily, I was able to repair and I followed up with them and it worked out okay. But our kiddos, they see us as perfect, us never making mistakes. But when we can not only model that we do, but how we fixed it, it is so powerful for them.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay.
And so when when you when you're when you drop your kiddos off, you tell them, and your words are be brave, be kind, be gentle. Um, you don't have to say go make mistakes. You don't have to say that part, but when you're if you at the end of the day, when you collected them, not right off the bat, most children don't want to talk about their day yet. After
No.
school, they're overloaded, but that can be, how are you brave today? How are you kind? How are you gentle? And what mistakes did you make? It can be a part of the conversation. Um,
Yeah.
maybe pick one of those a day if decide. Have we talked about bringing the palm of your hand a little bit?
Oh yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
like
Just reading
yeah,
your kiddos' body language. Are they totally into it? Yeah, let me tell you how I was brave. Let me tell you how I was kind. Some kids be like, yeah, you need to stop talking, mom. We need to read their body language and where their regulation is. Okay. So
that's an interesting point. So Atticus admitted to me this weekend, because he's been home for 4 days, obviously with the snowstorm. And it's been a little rough with me having to work and whatnot. So he admitted to me, actually, I guess it was Monday. He said, Mom, I don't hear you when you talk. It's just whoa, whoa. So I feel like Charlie Brown right now. I'm
okay.
like, I get it, like, because you just don't hear me. I think you're not listening, but you just don't even hear my voice.
So I was actually just going to make a post about this. If we want our kiddos to listen, we need to listen. If we want them to be quiet, we need to be quieter. If we want them to do the things, we need to do the things, right? So one of the most powerful strategies that we can use is, well, if we look at it in a hierarchical way, our typically our most powerful strategy is just our owls. Have we talked about owls?
Yes.
Observe, wait, listen, and then decide if we even need to come in. Very often, we don't need to say anything. The next tool, when we've decided we need to do something, is just a silent cue or a one word. The less we do, the more they do. The less we do and say and talk and yell, the more they can do well.
Okay.
And then we can kind of go up from there. If you're wanting him to sweep up a mess he made, instead of saying, Atticus, I already told you, why can't you go get the broom? I already asked you 3 times, go get the broom. It's over there. Are you going to sweep now? Like this, right? That you were just saying. It's so much better to be like, oh, buddy, hey, that just hit.
Yeah. That's actually something I wanted to eventually talk to you about. Like, what is like age appropriate, like chores and like age appropriate expectations that I can have. I think sometimes, especially with Atticus, because he is so intelligent, and like by the time he was due, he was using big vocabulary words. Like I forget he's 5. And
Mhm,
I think my expectations on him sometimes are unhealthy
mhm.
because he is so well spoken. And I mean, it's only in the last year that like I've really like made a conscious effort to realize that he has the emotional maturity of a 4 and a 5-year-old versus like the intellectual. I mean, he's so smart. It's weird. Like I don't know where he's learning these things. I'm not teaching him. Like I mean, at 4 he knew multiplication. He could just sprout it off to you. I don't know where he learned it. Anyways, so I'm really trying, but I need to like, I know I need to figure out like what is age appropriate expectations as far as number one, like I do think he's old enough to do chores in this house.
Mhm.
When I ask him to do things, his now responses to me, I don't own this house.
Okay, what do you say when he does that? When he does that, do you
I
argue
said,
back?
oh, of course.
Okay.
I
What do you
mean,
say?
yeah, of course I argue back. I say, but I don't own the house either, but we rent this house as a family and you live here. So these are your things.
Okay, so um, what did you ask him to do?
Oh, I mean, it's just a slew of things like pick up your Nerf bullets from the house. Hey, bud, I spent just yesterday. Hey, bud, I spent Sunday afternoon putting those that board on your wall for all your Nerf guns. I need you when you take one down to make sure you put it back up. I don't own the house.
Okay, and that was a very kind way that you said that. And what was his response?
No.
Okay, and then what did you do next?
I I said, Atticus, I was like, you want to continuously get new Nerf guns. I was like, and you leave your Nerf guns all over the place. I made a system for you so that you can keep them nice. It's like, we can't keep getting new Nerf guns and you can't just leave them out everywhere because eventually they're going to have to go somewhere. Implying if you don't pick them up, I'm going to get rid of them.
And then what'd he do? This is amazing. You're doing great. What did he say next?
Oh God, what did he say next? Yeah, he got mad. Yeah, he got mad because he was, what did he say? Because I said, I was like, I said that. And then he said, but I don't own the house. You do it. That's what he told me. You do it. I don't own the house.
And then what did you do?
Walked away. So I didn't get mad.
Yeah. Okay. Walking away is not weak. So if we don't have the right tool to use, walking away is not weak. So good job, Mama. So much better than yelling. Now, if we could replay that all over again. First of all, when there is an issue, we always, as much as possible, want to bring our children into the problem-solving process. So that might be like, hey, Atticus, there are guns everywhere and bullets everywhere. What kind of system can we put together so that you can put them where they belong and they're not all over the house? Do you have any ideas? When kids give us their ideas, they give us their buy-in. So
Okay.
that
I'm
way,
happy to try.
huh?
I'm happy to try.
So you created this Nerf gun where it was put away. Like you created this thing where they go. So we can
Pretty
still,
happy.
as you get good with this, you won't solve problems. You'll bring kids in and solve them together so that you get buy-in. But it's still not too late. You
No,
can,
that's like really interesting because I tried. I tried because this is his obsession. I don't really even, I never, oh God, the whole Nerf gun thing with me is kind of like a thorn in my side. I never imagined having a son that had Nerf guns at this age. I'm kind of against it. It was a compromise with Atticus and with his dad, and it's just gotten out of control, in my opinion. I've talked to his aunt Sarah, who's like a captain, something in the Navy, about it. For me, it's kind of concerning his obsession. She assures me that it's okay and normal. I don't know, but Atticus wants to be a Navy SEAL when he grows up, and we are obsessed with guns. So I struggle with this part. So before I took the initiative and did the whole pegboard wall thing, I asked him multiple times, hey, bud, how would you like to organize all of them? He's probably got close to 30. It's serious. Like, I've probably bought half of them, but so is his dad and grandma and everybody else. So
when you
this extends to other things and with Atlas as well, right? So I really need to learn how to deal with this because one, I feel like my house is being taken over by Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you said, hey, buddy, how do you want to, what kind of system?
I don't care. His response is always, I don't care.
Okay, so that's okay. When would you say that? What did you say?
Oh, I mean, this was like months ago. I don't really remember, but
Okay.
I know that I did show him different pictures and like which he would prefer.
Great.
He never really showed much interest, right? So
okay. So you can anytime. So first of all, we don't want to go to consequences right away. We really want to stay solution oriented and not backwards in consequences. So we can always bring it to our kids again and say, our system isn't working that we had for the Nerf guns. Do you have any ideas? And if I have some ideas, we need to get rid of about half of them. That's an idea. We could put all of them except for 2 in a box. That's an idea. What ideas do you have? And I'm sure he's going to come up with some ideas that he will do. And then what we can say is, all right, cool. Let's try your idea for about, what do you think, till Wednesday? Till for a week? If your idea works, great, we can keep them all. If your idea doesn't work, then we're going to try my idea. We're going to put half of them away in a box. Or you can say, well, which one do you, if your idea doesn't work, which idea of mine should we try? So he's going to choose one of your ideas. But his first, one of your ideas second. And it's got to be motivating. He really has to have buy-in. It can't, it's all but two or half. Like that's something that
Yeah.
I would do.
So I took half their toys about 6 months ago and put half their toys in bins
Okay.
and put them in closets because it was just too much. And so I'm really trying once a month to swap them out.
Okay.
To be completely honest, I haven't done it in about 2 months. It's last time that I swapped them out. It's just with holidays, it's gotten a little bit behind with everything else in life. So yeah, I mean, I'm open to this for sure. I kind of hope he chooses to put half of them away.
He's not going to that. No way. Oh, for you, for his plan B choice,
Yeah, he will not. He'll freak out. But
he will freak out, and that's okay. He gets to be mad. He gets to have his feelings, and
yeah,
then and let him know.
but yeah, I don't care. Like that's the whole reason why I built a whole wall of like a pegboard so that he can hang them all up and see what he has. Like that was the whole point.
Yep.
I've actually quite proud of it. I've sent it to friends and family and like, look at this collection.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like my 5 nieces and nephews were here for New Year's and we had just like an epic Nerf battle.
That's awesome.
Everybody can have 2 guns.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that. Memories.
Yeah, it's actually given me a business idea, like I mean, can we open a warehouse where kids can come shoot Nerf guns at each other?
Right. Yes. We did Nerf guns last year for Christmas. So
You did?
Uh-huh. We did laser tag this year. We got laser tag stuff, but
that's cool.
So
we have laser guns too.
Yeah. So when you're presenting this to Atticus when brains are calm, bodies are calm, right? You're not in, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, are not gonna like tell these things when we're flipped and when they're flipped, right? I would also let him know, you can ask him, you present your 2 choices or your 2 options. You're going to let him know, I hope your choice works, let me know if I can help you in any way. We want to think about that one.
Yeah. I just really want him to start taking responsibility for anything that he has.
Yeah. And then just say, and just so you know, I'm not going to fight about this. If your plan doesn't work, I will wait till you're at school and I will put half of them away. Just letting you know that that's how that's going to work. I hope your plan works. I really hope. And and this is where I would say, I'm on your team, buddy. What do you think? Maybe before dinner, we pick them all up. Like what's a good plan to get them all on the wall before bedtime or all on the wall? That's what, before bedtime is how we would do it before dinner.
Yeah. So what I try to do, like, hey, can we please pick these up? Or like, hey, I try to get them both involved. Can we pick up our toys? Before bedtime. And it is just like, it's never successful. I felt like they were both so much more helpful when they were 2 years old.
Oh, for sure. That's across the board.
I know.
That's across the board.
But Atticus likes an Atlas too. Like they like a very clean house and they are quick to tell you about the house when it is not spick and span.
And their stuff's all over.
And they're so OCD about it. Yeah.
What do they do after they get home with you? What's their routine?
So yeah, this is like one of the biggest problems. I have to figure out how to like do better. I need them in bed before 10:30 at night. So I leave here about 5:20. I get Atlas at 5:30. We get Atticus at 5:45. We're back here at like 6:15. We as a family typically spend about 20 minutes outside with the dog. And then we come in and the 2 of them typically separate and either get on tablets or Nerf guns, but usually some type of device, which I've put a 90-minute timer on devices because if I don't, they're outrageous. I'm not always consistent at it.
Mhm.
I despise devices, but it's this age we live in. So
Um, so, okay, you you pick them up from school, you come home, I love that you're getting outside with the dog. It's super important to be outside, burning some energy, grounding. That's amazing. Then they come in, they get to be on devices for 90 minutes max, or
yeah, I
they
usually try to split it for them because I always try to get them in the shower as soon as we get home. Like you're inside, I try to get one of them in the bath, but they both fight me on it so much that it's like a I just don't battle it. If one of them is willing to go take a bath when we come in from the dog while I make dinner, that's awesome. They usually will not, and they opt to do it after they eat. But
okay, so here's we can use the device as a logical motivator to help us. So
okay,
I would totally say something like, we can have the device for, I would say something like 10 minutes after dinner, after bath, after toys are picked up. But but we want to set them to be successful. So we're only going to choose after one thing for the first week.
okay.
So we
Oh,
can,
wait, so like they don't get their device for 90 minutes, they only get it for 10 minutes? Is that what I'm doing?
I would recommend 0, but that would be rude. That would be terrible for you and for them, right? That
Yeah,
would
they're
be
gonna
too much.
freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we can use that. Oh, you want your devices? Okay. After shower. The new rule in our home is you can have devices after shower. Who wants to go first?
We can try it. And what do I do when they both push back and start laying on the floor screaming and kicking?
Oh, you're mad about that. Okay. Well, I'm going to be in the kitchen. Come help me cook when you're ready.
Hmm. Okay.
And the less you say, the better.
Okay.
And what you can do is this is Wednesday. So you can let them know tomorrow and Friday. Hey guys, we're going to kind of have a new plan for next week. We're going to get devices after shower. We're going to
Okay.
keep
We're gonna start this on Monday.
if um um yeah, but we are wanting to give them as much input in within the team as possible. So actually what we want to do is give them some choices. Do we want to start Monday or Tuesday? We can do that, or Sunday or Monday. When we give choices, we invite their voice. We're telling them what you have to say matters. You matter to me. So we can say we're gonna
They
start.
know I'm working with you.
Good. You're gonna
Yeah.
hear this. Stop listening to her. And you're also gonna hear, will you take more classes from her?
That's
You're gonna
cute.
hear both of those things. Every parent says their kid says the same thing.
That's cute.
It is cute. um, but I want you to make sure you're the one taking all the credit. What did you tell them when you were with me or whatever? What were your words?
Oh, well, I mean, I just told them that they know that I obviously do other life coaching stuff and that I also work with other people as their life coach. But I told them because we've been struggling so much with a lot of things like scheduling and getting to school on time and getting to bed on time. And there's been so many fights that I hired a parent coach to help me become a better mom.
Okay. All right. We'll see
Yeah.
how we'll see how I think that's great.
I mean, I think I've told you in the past, like I always took this route with them that I am really honest and really transparent. And I think at times it's bit me, burned me tremendously. I think that's why Atticus is in music therapy right now, to be honest. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I told him when he was 2 years old, his dad was in prison. And it created a very deep fear of cops. When he was 2 in daycare, it was next door to the fire department as well. So every time the fire department sirens would go off, he thought the cops were coming to get him and he would never come home. That backfired.
Yeah.
So then his dad was out for a while before he signed his plea deal. And when he went back, against my wishes, his dad lied to him and told him he was out of state working. But Atticus is a smart cookie. And Atticus was having video calls with his dad and would see in the background, even though Chris is huge and was blocking the background, Atticus figured out that his dad was in prison again.
Yeah.
So now we've let him down and lied to him. And now that's his new thing over the last year is you're a liar. That sucks. Because I'm the opposite. Like I'm too honest with them.
Yeah. Well, and we can talk about what to say when he says those things. We always want to
He's said it
acknowledge.
to me in the last week probably 50 times.
So he's saying that for
Lots of things.
crazy.
Yeah, if he doesn't get his way, or so right now he wants this alarm clock that you sit up in bed and shoot it to turn it off. For me, I told him I feel like it's a really aggressive way to start the day. It all started because I got them alarm clocks. I got them like they're age appropriate little dancing robots. I got one to go off 15 minutes before I come get them up. And the hope is that they would get the alarm, turn it off, and get up. For Atlas, she's probably too young, but for Atticus, he's 5. I think he can get himself out of bed, say good morning, get a drink of water, go to the restroom. I mean, I don't know, and perhaps change his clothes, but I am still dressing that child in the bed like he is an infant.
When he throws that term at you, you can validate the feeling. He doesn't know what else to say, and it gets you in the gut, and he is looking for that reaction.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, you're really mad about needing to take a bath right now. Okay, I get it. And walk away. We're not going to reinforce it in any way, but we still want to validate and name the feeling name the feeling that he needs to know with the words he needs to label it with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when he throws it at you, be like, oh, the feeling behind this behavior is he's hungry or he's mad or whatever, and just name it. And I'm sorry you feel that way, buddy. Come cook with me in the kitchen when you're ready, as you walk away. But we don't want to give it any extra attention.
Yeah, it's really good.
We want to
that's why like the alarm clock, I'm a big liar because I got the robot. He saw this on Amazon or on a commercial or I don't know. And he says, I want that one. And I said, look, for 2 weeks, if you can use this alarm successfully, I was like, me and your dad can talk about it. I was like, but that's a really aggressive way to start your day. I said, but let's try this alarm clock first. And all Atticus heard was, let me do this one and then I get that one. So now I'm a liar.
And okay, when our kids
you get one day.
Yeah. When our kids misinterpret something that we said, we can say, I'm really sorry that how I said that came off in that way. That's not what I intended. We're definitely only getting this alarm clock after these things have been met. And you know what, buddy? And I would even say this, that was too confusing of a theme. Let's make a new plan. What are your ideas to get this alarm clock? If you think you can handle it, what's your plan? Alarm clocks, the reason for alarm clocks is it gets people up and it gets them on their way. You're not even doing that with this alarm clock. So, help me. So just having this conversation with him. But again, watch his body language. If he starts to like tune you out, you can be like, oh, when you're ready to talk about this, just let me know. I don't think we're ready to talk about this right now. So you're just
Yeah.
always watching. And the less we say,
And I actually talked to his father about the alarm clock. I talked to him about it today because it's a fresh issue. Chris is completely on board. I'm like, Chris, it's really aggressive.
mm,
He says anything to get him up, right?
it's a skill. It's not going to work. Oh, because unless the kiddo has to get down, go get his Nerf gun, shoot the thing.
The thing is like, yeah, like you sit up with like, I guess you sleep with the pistol under your pillow like you're some gangster. The
Yeah.
alarm clock goes off, you sit up and you shoot it. It is so aggressive.
Can I um can I give a quick little connection routine in the morning that I'd love for you to try
Would love one. Yes.
for my kiddos? I set their alarm clocks. They have little square ones, and I set them across the room so they have to get up. And all what they do is it wakes them up. They get out of bed. They turn it off. They say, "Mommy, I'm ready to snuggle." I come in, so they hit that snooze, right, for 5 minutes. That's what they end up hitting. So I get in bed with them. I tell them how amazing they are. I'm trying to hit on all 5 love languages while I'm in their bed with them. I am loading them up with connection. Kids have to feel better to do better.
What are the 5 love language connections? How do I not know this?
So the 5 love languages are physical touch,
Oh,
words of affirmation,
physical words of affirmation. Okay.
and as we can go through these, just pick one. I don't want you to overload yourself.
No, I'm just curious.
Gifts,
like,
gifts,
okay, that's Atticus's love language. Okay.
touch, words of affirmation, gifts. Um, ugh, hold on. Okay, so they are acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time. Hello.
Act
Words of
serving.
affirmation, and physical touch. So here's how I tapped into all 5 of those with my kiddos each morning. My daughter would get up 5 minutes or 10 minutes before my son, my foster son. And so that way I could get in with her and get that connection time. So acts of service, I would come in and I would say, and I'm going to knock out physical touch too. Do you want some lavender spray so I can massage your hand? Oh, yes, mommy. Do you want me to do the left one first or the right one first? I'm waking them up with their voice. They're telling me, they're giving, I've given them a choice. They're telling me their preference. And then I'm asking another choice. Do you want me to do light pressure, medium pressure, or hard pressure? Just as I have a lavender, organic lavender essential oil with some coconut fractionated oil. So it's super soft. So I'm massaging their hands, and that we're doing. This whole thing is quality time. It's an act of service. It's physical touch. And as I'm doing this, I'm telling them how amazing they are and how lucky I am to be their mom. And I'm so glad they chose me to be their mom. Don't say that one if you think they're going to turn it around on you.
I mean, actually, every night before I go to bed, I tell them uh, that I'm so lucky that I got to be their mom.
Yeah.
Of
And
course.
then when you're say something about a characteristic that you love about them or that they're working on. I love how honest you are. I
Yeah.
love how your
So
smile.
this is exactly what I do before. I mean, minus like the hand rubbing. Like this is what I do when I put them to bed.
Yeah, we need to do this when we wake them up because we're loading them with connection. which is belonging and significance. That needs to be the first part of their day.
Smart.
Yeah. So my daughter's alarm would go off. She would hit snooze. Mommy, come snuggle me. I'd go in, massage her, tell her all the things. My son's alarm would go off. He would come hit snooze. Mommy, come snuggle me. I'd come in. And then here's the next step.
So you set their alarms apart, obviously,
Yeah.
because you can't be in two different places.
Yep. And here's the next really important part. So next session with you, we're going to go over task lists, okay? I don't think we'll have time to do it this time.
That's okay.
The next
Go on.
the next piece that I do with him is whenever the alarm goes off again, right? Because we've snoozed together, right? We've connected for that snooze time. When that alarm goes off, I'm like, oh, that's our time. The sun's ready to meet you. And then I say, would you like me to make your bed or do you want to do it? And they're like, oh, mommy, please do it for me. So I'm like, okay, hop out. And I quickly make their bed. And we have checked off 2 of their tasks list. Snuggle time with mommy and their bed is made. So they're already off in a super positive way for their morning task list.
Okay. How old was she when you started this?
Unfortunately, I didn't start this with her until my foster son came in the house. And I had he kind of sucked up all the energy. And I had to make time to connect with her. And I had to do things with him to help him be successful. So, and
How old was she?
When we got him,
Mm-hmm.
she was 8.
Oh.
And he's 5 now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's ever too late. And I know my kids are really young and I know I stress a lot, but it's scary.
What's scary?
I just feel like they're like the foundational years are really scary to me.
Girl, you are light
I
years.
potentially read way too much.
No, you sometimes ignorance is bliss. Yeah. And when you know, yeah, I get that piece, but you're starting way earlier than a lot of parents that come. Their kids are 13, sneaking out of the house, and they don't.
Yeah, I know. And like that was me. Honestly, that was me. I was a mess. I was a really, really damaged child. And I think that's part of the reason why I am like so like overly cautious about all things because I don't want them to be, I don't want to be a helicopter parent, but I also don't want to raise me. Right. And like their dad was incarcerated by the time he was 9.
Yeah, you shared that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like,
yeah,
scary.
Well, only up from here. Okay, we're 15 minutes and I do have a hard stop at
That's okay. Yeah, I do too.
Okay, another call. Of everything we've talked about so far, do you need me to say anything again? Because you'll hear me repeat things over and over, and that's how we need to really get things into our bones. So do I need to repeat anything that wasn't clear? Or what was your favorite tool that you want to try? Or what didn't make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean, it all makes sense. It's just, I just need to absorb it. This is when I need to go watch these modules. I'm sorry. I will go watch them, but it is this is actually so helpful. I mean, just little things are really good. So I think staying, I think my focus this next week is going to be staying solution oriented versus being consequential, you know?
That comes with a lot of tools in your pocket to know
I understand
what tool that they need. But I love that. I love that you're that we can look at every oopsie and
I think I know that that's the solution, right? Like I know that that is definitely the solution. My kids don't react to any type of discipline well. They don't like that, like traditional discipline, none of it has worked. So I think that this is truly like empowering them is truly the
Mhm.
ticket, right? It's a ticket to anybody
Yeah.
to empower.
So discipline just means to teach. It does not
Right.
mean to punish, and kids don't need punished. That's highly unfair. It's totally backwards thinking. It's making them pay retribution for skills that they don't have yet. Punishment really is for the benefit of the adults because we don't know what else to do and we need to do something to make this child pay for their infraction, and it was done to us, and it's kind of a cop out for and a highlight of things,
Oh,
tools
all
we
the
don't
things I
have.
agree. Right? It's a very antiquated,
Oh yeah.
but at the same time, I think that it is still, it, especially here and in the South in general, it is just a way of life. And it's hard. Like it's breaking that cycle, right? Like when they go to their grandmother's, I am very careful about how long they stay over there. Because her fiance, I don't, fiance, I guess, is very quick to jokingly, he taunts them with pow pow, right? Spanking my children. And let me find out.
Yeah.
You'll never see them again until they're adults.
Have you told them that that's not
Yes.
okay? And
But
you can,
it's still a thing. But my kids come home joking about pow pow, or Atlas will tell me Paco pow pow Atticus.
yeah. And we can talk about
Yeah, it's boundaries within family. It's such
but
a hard place to be.
it is, but it's also staying regulated ourselves, being kind and firm. Like, hey,
Yeah.
assaulting other humans is not a joke in our family, whether it's adults or children. And can we talk? There's a million other things you can teach him about and learn about together. Hitting each other, adults to kids, kids to adults, that's just not something that, it's not a joke. And what, can we, this is a problem. What solution?
It's actually a family issue because
Yeah, right.
his their grandmother says, oh, well, Chris had my stepdad as like a parental figure, and Chris was so close to him, and they respected him, yada yada yada. I'm like, oh, but did it really serve Chris well?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's an issue in the family, and they honestly don't go over there a lot for a lot of reasons, but this is the main one because
And
I
it's
struggle.
because, yeah, and it might be a conversation that goes in one year right out the other, but it sounds like you just limit time, and that's the best. That's the best
For
thing
me,
to do. Right now.
sometimes like I know they want to spend time, and like I will drop them, go grocery shopping, pick them up.
Cool. Yeah. Um, really quickly, let me go on your taffy moments. I just want
Uh,
to make sure we touched a little bit, but I want to make sure we round it out. Okay. Oh gosh, and then we'll talk about the dog. Um, so your son admitted to you that he doesn't hear you when you talk. He zones me out, and that's that. The fact that he told you that, Courtney, is
yeah.
amazing. Good job, Mom.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He is safe in saying, you do this to me. I would have been
Yeah.
slapped.
Lately, he's been telling me, he's like, stop talking. Quiet. Is it disrespectful, or is he giving me his boundary? It's like you could read it either way.
Both.
He needs to deliver his message in a different way.
So,
But his therapist is telling him, listen, it's okay to tell mom, look, I need my space.
okay. So this tool is called the hey, try this tool. Okay, you can write that down. Hey, try this. And so if you're talking and Atticus, gosh, we're gonna have to like really dance around this, but we don't have time to, this will be an ongoing thing to kind of massage. But if you're talking to Atticus and he's just like Um, how does he say it to you?
What, that he doesn't hear me or to stop talking?
Stop talking.
Yeah, if I'm like, hey Atticus, I need you to come eat dinner, like, or hey Atticus, I would love to talk to you about going to New Orleans this weekend. You have a basketball game. Would you want to miss it, or is it important for you to be at your game? Mama, not right now. Stop talking.
Okay, then we're gonna be, not every time we can approach it like this, but when we can be like, oh, well, what I'm hearing, well, if his voice is kind, we want to acknowledge that. Well, your voice was kind, so thank you. I'm hearing that you don't want to go to your basketball game. If you change your mind, come, we better make a plan. But I'm gonna be over here. Like,
Yeah.
let me know if you change your mind. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm understanding. You don't want to go. So, okay. And then if that's gonna be something that he's gonna be like, if that's gonna be what are your your intentions? What do you need? Is that an actual option? But and is it going to make him be like, whoa, wait, yo, I was not saying we aren't going to go? Because some kid, we want to reinforce the right things.
Yeah.
Sense?
Yeah, and like I think the most common is like, "Hey Atticus, I'm about dinner's ready in 5 minutes. I need you to turn the TV off. What would you like to drink?" And then he's always, "Stop talking."
Yeah. Gosh, we need to be on here every day together. That's why we're gonna, first of all, screen time it's an addiction. It's hard for
And my
adults.
5-year-old is, well, they're both addicted to it. Atticus has a serious problem.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I am really trying to stick to the 90 minutes. And I tell him halfway through, I'm like, "Bud, you're halfway through your 90 minutes. Why don't you take a break
yeah,
and come?"
yeah,
And it has been one of the hardest. I regret ever losing that fight, because it was my intention that they would not even be exposed to television before the age of 2, preferably beyond,
yeah.
and that they would not have tablets till much later in life. And somehow they both have tablets. I didn't buy Atticus as the first one, but then Atlas comes up and her brother has one, and it's causing fights. And so,
Yeah. So this is you can tell, like, you're still mom. You could cut out tablets cold turkey. You have every right to do that. What I would do starting like ASAP is saying, we're really gonna work on our family routines and we can have screen time for 30 minutes. That's it. That's all we're doing. But whenever they get on screen time, this is called future casting. You need to get a verbal plan of what they're going to do after screen time is over.
okay.
So eventually, it's going to be okay, we can have screen time. Hopefully, actually, we're going to take it out completely, but we're going to work there. We're not going to like make everyone miserable right off the get go. But when you're going to reduce it, and then we'll start placing it after dinner, after bath, after all the things. It's still going to present a problem because it's firing kids' neurons before bed. So if you want to take it out of the equation, which I highly recommend, that's our goal. That's what will happen. But that future casting, when they ask you, hey, can I have my tablet, which they should always be doing, you could say, yep, do you remember? Are we gonna do it for 6 hours or 30 minutes or 0 minutes? We want to be playful if we can, give them a choice, give them power.
So you said something really interesting, that they should always be asking me for it.
Yeah. Yes. That is something you should absolutely be controlling.
Hmm.
Do they just go grab it? But so yeah, maybe they can start going in your room.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to put them up, right? I need to take them and put them up where they can't reach them and make them ask for it. And then go over like, hey, I don't think if I go straight to 30 minutes, Atticus is going to freak out.
Okay.
But I am gonna today, I'm gonna tell him like, hey, you can have it for 45 minutes today before dinner, and then can you take your shower if you want to get your additional time?
There you go. You're starting to get some agreement.
I think that's a really good idea because it is such a problem in this house. And the thing is, Atticus has now figured out how to get beyond all my codes and all my locks, and he's now going on to adult YouTube.
You know, the average child views porn at age 8.
Oh, no, I don't know that, but that is really disturbing. I'm not surprised. I mean, my
Right.
sister teaches in public schools in Louisiana. She's an elementary science lab teacher.
Yeah.
She has fifth graders pregnant.
Yep. So it happened. They don't go looking for it at age 8. Most it just
No,
pops up, and then
yeah, and
that piece of their childhood is gone. So, but I loved how you're going to do it to 45 minutes, and then you're saying if you want the additional time, you can have it after shower.
yeah,
And
because he knows that like at halfway point, I come to him like, hey, you've been on for 45 minutes. You're halfway there. Like, why don't we take a break and go do whatever? And it's always no, 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 no.
yeah.
But
Um,
I mean, it is just one of my biggest problems in our family, our home. I think a lot of it happened just as a single parent. And like, I get it. Like, I think I used to be very judgmental of people that had this issue. And now I completely get it.
Yes, all of us. I'm not going to be that parent, and here we are. So many. It's okay.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, a part of it is I need to move. Like I live on the corner of a very busy road. My kids cannot just go out in my yard. It is not an option.
Mm,
Like there is no just going out and releasing energy or playing. Like by this summer, I have to be out of this house, not because of anything other than the fact my kids, I need them connected to Mother Nature so
um,
bad. Like
let me
I
wrap up.
don't care if I move to the trailer in the woods, like we're moving.
I just want to wrap up because we're at the hour for the
I
dog,
got you. You gotta
the
go.
dog thing.
Yeah.
Before you let your dog outside, say eyes. When he looks at you, open the door. You're gonna get the eye contact before you open the door.
Eyes.
Eyes. Yep.
Interesting. I've been trying to teach him to ring a bell, but
And you're gonna say eyes, and he's just gonna look at the door like, what the heck? And then he'll accidentally look up, yes, and open the door.
what
Okay.
is this going to do? It's going to connect us or bond us or
It's going to, first of all, you're not gonna have a dog rushing out the door, which sucks. He's gonna always
yeah, we almost got hit yesterday. So yes.
always ask permission to walk out the door.
Okay.
It's a really good habit. And touch is a really good habit too. Touch and where he puts his nose on your hands, that physical contact. Okay.
And when do I ask for that?
You could start now how old is he?
3 months.
Yeah, you could start it now. Put a treat.
But what is it for?
It's the most amazing tool, and I use it with my children too. Hey, touch, and it calls him back. When the mailman comes, I say touch, it brings him back, and I can grab a hold of his collar if I need to. It is a really great tool for his nose to touch your hand anytime you say touch.
Oh.
When we're hiking and he's way far away and I see another dog, I can say touch, and he runs back, touches, and I can grab his collar.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited. He's old enough now to put in puppy class. We're going to do the AKC super puppy stuff. So.
All right. Any questions you have throughout the week, post to me on the spreadsheet. Post them in
Okay,
the group.
cool.
If you go on the group every day, this happened, I will be in there giving you looms and giving you stuff. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.